What's up, everybody? On my channel, I do a lot of pickup videos. I show what I get from garage sales or things that I get from doing trades with other people on YouTube. But I don't often talk about what I'm currently playing or what I've just beaten. And I get a lot of comments or messages saying, hey, what did you think of this certain game, or have you beaten it yet? And I figured I could at least do, some what am I playing type of videos every once in a while, just to, sort of share and open up more conversation options with fellow YouTubers. So, to start it off, something that I just beat about, I'd say 2 weeks ago, and I really enjoyed, was Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS. And it is a really fun game. It's a decent length. I don't play games in really long spans, maybe an hour, hour and a half at a time. So this took me, a good amount of time to beat, maybe about a week and a half or 2 weeks, playing, a couple times a day, actually. And I would say that my favorite part of it is it's a good balance between sort of like a hide-and-seek game. You're searching out where the ghosts are. It's not incredibly challenging, when you find them. I think I only died a total of like 4 times throughout the entire game, and that was mainly on like boss battles or there was one boss battle where I couldn't quite figure out, how to damage the ghost to suck them up, and it was these 3 sisters, and they're holding mirrors and they're spinning around each other, and it was just sort of a challenge to figure out, okay, well, how do I actually damage them? And it turns out all I had to do was just wait like an extra 2 seconds. I was just being impatient. But I think that the 3D effects, like if you have the 3D slider turned up all the way, there's some really beautiful rooms and parts of the different mansions. They did a really good job of incorporating the 3D effect and how many different layers that you actually get that effect with. There are a lot of things that you can discover throughout all the different mansions. The main things you're looking for are the little dark moon pieces and the ghosts that are hiding them. But you can also just kind of go around all the houses and use your vacuum cleaner to suck up almost everything from spider webs and plants and carpets, curtains on the windows, and a lot of times there's things hidden in them like cash, and it's really an extra bonus, to be able to sort of a little bit of like a free roam kind of thing, and sometimes you can actually discover even like hidden paths or little, secret areas that you technically don't have to go in. There's also a lot of like little cracks and windows you can look into, see into another room that you'll eventually get into. And there's a lot of comedic aspects with the game, obviously, and the ghosts like to screw around with Luigi. And watching all the different reactions and emotions that Luigi has when encountering, ghosts or when lightning crashes, they really did a good job. It makes it feel like he's really aware of his surroundings. He's not just going to stand perfectly still, next to something that's really creepy or dark. He actually, cowers and shivers. So, a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. And if you played the first Luigi's Mansion, I think you would really, really enjoy this one as well. The newest game that I'm currently playing is Metro Last Light. I'm only a few hours into it. I really enjoyed Metro 2033. I thought that game was very challenging, had some great graphics, a great story. The voice acting was really good in it. It was overall just a really balanced shooter. And so far this one is, living up to the first one. I think that they did a great job of, even enhancing the details to your surroundings. One part that sticks in my mind so far is like one of the subway system parts. Like the first time in the game you go into the subway system, there are tons of dead bodies and families. Basically they look like they died, still holding like their kids, and they're just skeletons, still wearing their clothes, and it's really creepy and weird. And I know that this type of game doesn't have, skeleton zombies or anything like that, but I kept thinking like, oh Jesus, or one of them going to stand up and jump out at me. I think the overall outdoor areas are also a little bit better, at least looking, and a little bit more adventurous, I guess, in this one than in 2033. For those that don't know, the Metro games are based off of a Russian novel, so it has a very fleshed out story. It doesn't feel like anything's really forced. And like I said, I'm only a little bit into it. I don't know how much farther I'm going to be able to, get into the game before I leave for tour in a few days. But so far, Like I said, the voice acting and everything is holding up really nicely, and it's cool to just sort of listen to all the conversations that the other characters in the game are having with each other. And when you walk up to them, they'll turn and actually interact with you. And it's not just, doesn't feel like just, sometimes little quick one-liners. They'll actually, talk about your character and what he's done, and, things that he actually did in the other game. So, lots of fun. If you like darker, not quite horror, I guess, some people consider the Metro games, like a horror shooter. At sometimes, yes, but I would just say more of like a sci-fi shooter, so I do recommend the Metro games for something a little bit different than just a clone of the newest, military game, or, something like a Gears of War, Halo. It definitely is a unique sci-fi shooter. Recently, I've been on a handheld kick. I've been playing a lot of my 3DS, and apparently a lot of Mario games. I just beat New Super Mario Bros. 2. When the game first came out, I only played a little bit of it, and then I put it down and started playing something else. But about 3 days ago, I popped it in and ran through, the entire game really quickly. The idea is, you'll do multiple playthroughs to try to collect all the star coins and unlock all the different paths. Surprisingly, on my first playthrough, I did not once open up one of like the rainbow levels, and the way you do that is by matching up the last two numbers with whatever world you're on. So if you're on world 1, you'll match up, there'll be 2 1s at the end, 11. Or if you're world 2, it'll be 2 2s, 22, and so on. But I didn't do that one single time, and now I'm trying to do that at least once on each world, and that is the easiest way to get a shit ton of coins. They ask you right on the back, can you collect 1 million coins? I'm nowhere near 1 million. I think I'm at like 30,000. So I don't know how many fucking times they expect you to try to play the game to get 1 million coins. But it's a lot of fun. The current age of Mario games have been incredibly easy. And I think I have 336 lives or something right now. So it's like I'm never even remotely worried about dying. But I'm almost thinking that they don't even care anymore. Like, that's not the point. It's, just play through the levels. Of course, you'll probably die or screw up a few times, on some of the harder levels. But it's more about just, get 1 million coins or get all the star coins. It's not like, hey, can you make it through the game without actually having a game over? But it's still a lot of fun. And it is definitely a challenge to get all the star coins. There seems to be like 1 or 2 on every world where it's either really well hidden or they're just a pain in the ass. And I think on World 3, I tried to get one of the star coins about like 20 times. Like, I kept starting the level over, and I could not just perfectly hit the block in the water where the jets of water were pushing me. It was a pain in the ass. But I think I'm going to go ahead and fully try to beat the game like I did with New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. On that one, I 100% completed it, and I probably will end up doing the same with New Super Mario Bros. 2. Finally, I recently just started playing Disgaea again. When it first came out on the PS2, I owned that one, and I played a lot of it. Then they released it on the PSP, then they released it on the DS, and I had gotten rid of my PS2 and my PSP copies, and I decided just to keep the DS one because it had pretty much all of the content that was on both the PSP and PS2 versions, plus a little bit more. But just recently I picked up a stack of PSP games from a garage sale, and this was in it, and I decided to keep it because the PSP version had voice acting with it, and they took that out of the DS version. Plus the graphics look better on the PSP one. And when I was thinking, I'm like, I want to start playing a strategy RPG again. And I kind of remembered, oh yeah, I just got, Disgaea on the PSP. So I popped it in, I started playing it. And I forgot just how fucking weird and goofy this game was and is. And it's a lot of fun, though. It's probably the most over-the-top strategy RPG that I've ever played. And possibly, the most over-the-top one that's ever come out. I mean, the crazy moves you can do and the amount of damage you can do is just, it's goofy. It's the best way to describe it. But I am enjoying it again. You can put so much time into the Disgaea games. The PS2 one, I would say I probably had about 70 or 80 hours into it, and I wasn't even, I wasn't done. And then they put out the PSP and the DS one kind of quick. I mean, I'm just taking a sort of a guess and trying to remember, but it seemed like they came out, pretty fast after each other. Not even enough time for me to really put too much time into like the PSP one before the DS one came out. So like I said, I've gone back and now I am playing Disgaea on the PSP. On the DS one, I actually also put a decent amount of time in. I think I got about 30 or so hours into that one. But that's it for right now, and that's basically what I'm currently playing or what I've just beaten. I did pick up Resident Evil Revelations on the Wii U, which I had talked about, and I really wanted to jump into this and just sort of do a comparison of how different it was or how better it looked than the 3DS version. And there are a few little tweaks. I know there's like a new monster they added to it, but I have not had a chance to do that, and I'm most likely not going to get to do that until I'm back from tour in July or so. But this will probably be the next console game that I pop in. I would like to finish BioShock Infinite and Tomb Raider, which I still haven't finished either of those, but both of those games were also really amazing. So that's it. Please thumbs up the video, and down in the comments section let me know, what are you playing right now? What have you just beaten? And June, there's some decent releases coming out, so what are you looking forward to most playing that'll be coming out in June? I won't be here for all of the month of June, in the States, so Katie will pick up my pre-order games that are coming out, like the collector's editions. So I won't be able to even look at those or touch those until I'm back in July. But that's it, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Thumbs up the vid. Peace.